I gotta freaking no, I gotta check myself before every time I record. Check the stash. There's a reason I'm checking it. This is take 2 of I recorded literally like 4 or 5 videos, and it's like I have this one little mustache hair that's just like poking out. I'll see if I can find a screenshot from one of the videos. This hair is just poking out. A lone soldier. We have a lone soldier just hanging out. And I was like, oh, whatever. But then I'm sitting there scrubbing through all the footage. In every single video, I got this hair poking out. And I had changed outfits, put on different hats. And that one freaking hair is just hanging out there. And I was like, I can't do it. I need to record this. It was driving me nuts. So now it's going to be like routine. It's going to be a religion to check the stash hairs before I record. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining this video. Today we're going to be talking about books, reading, why I think it is so important for everyone to get into reading, and why it is essential to being a better version of you. So let's get into the video. Roll that intro. Books, reading, and why I think it is so important for everyone to get into reading, and why it is essential to being a better version of yourself. It's just been a huge part of my development and growth as a person. I think that it has overall helped me not just in my knowledge or growth as a reader, or however you want to say that, but my emotional state, my intellectual, my physical state. It has improved so many areas because there's topics and books about all these different things, and you can really dive into whatever you want and just get a lot of value out of it. So it has been a huge part of my growth within the last year, and that is why I am making this video. The book that tipped the scale and really got me wanting to make this video was a book called Steal Like an Artist. And it's talking about how to basically become creative, right? How to be creative, how to come up with new ideas, how artists actually are inspired and create things, right? You're a photographer, videographer, trying to create a brand, a business. This helps you come up with ideas, help be creative, help move your production faster, because a lot of times you'll just go into your lulls, when you're not really feeling your best and feeling inspired. This will help you just kind of tap in to being able to create. And so I think it's overall a really good book, and kind of the preface and the reason that I'm creating this video. I think that the important thing, and something that Steal Like an Artist talks about, is that it is our obligation, it is our duty to educate ourselves, right? One of the quotes in the book is, whether you're in school or not, it is your job to get yourself an education. And I think that that is super important and more than true. I think so many times we go into our idle state and we just kind of live life, and we kind of just go through the motions, and that is not a very great place to be. That is an equation for stress, anxiety, depression, and overall just not really a self-fulfilling life. That is huge. I think that if we could, a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, I don't really want to buy books and whatever. Dude, you can go get a Kindle book for a couple dollars. And if not, I enjoy hard copies because I like taking notes and writing in books. Go buy a book instead of spending $10 at a coffee shop for coffee and a donut or whatever. You can easily make it happen. I think that that is going to give you much more value than your Starbucks coffee with whatever, your cake pops. I think you can get a lot more value out of buying a $10 book and reading that over the next couple weeks. If you think that there's even a topic that could that piques your interest even in the slightest bit, I think that it is important that you look into books and just buy them. Start buying books that are in hobbies and interests that you have. Don't buy books that naturally are against the grain. And that's why all my books are in this same category and genre, is because that is something that is naturally very important to me, and what I'm constantly thinking about on a daily basis is my self-improvement and me becoming better and building a better life for me and my family. Again, buy books that are in your interests, that come naturally to you, things that you're curious about. And I think this will help you get into books and not have that stigma of, I just don't enjoy reading and books aren't my thing. I think that that is a very sad excuse. You need to just try books that are either recommendations of friends, family, or are in your interests. I think one of the biggest things is telling yourself that you're a poor reader, that you don't have good reading comprehension. That is not an excuse. That is something that is going to happen to everybody. In anything in life, when you first start, you're not going to be the greatest at it, but over time and as you keep doing something, you will improve and you will become better at it. I have dyslexia. I used to tell myself that like, no, reading isn't my thing. It's too hard. I have to reread paragraphs and sentences and I just don't have great comprehension. I have come leaps and bounds and improved so much because I just stuck to reading and learning. Another thing that I really like about a book like Atomic Habits, which is kind of like my first recommendation for a book, is that it is laid out very well, right? It tells a story in chapter after chapter. It's a very similar layout and format. Tells a story or an example of an individual or a group, something that they might have been struggling with, what they changed and tweaked, and how that helped their overall performance and improve their either their quality of life or the ability to succeed in whatever area or endeavor they were in. It's very cool. It's a very like practical, lay it out and let you know. So it's a very easy read, very engaging, and a great book to take notes on. So that is why it is my recommendation and why it helped me so much in transitioning to becoming a reader. Let's take a minute to talk about our sponsor. Today's sponsor is me. Nobody else but me. Recently, I started a podcast where I go over a lot of the topics that we talk about in this YouTube channel and a lot of the content that I want to be creating. Really, my podcast is a brainstorming session and kind of the raw content that I then take into my YouTube videos and other pieces of content that I spread on other platforms. So if you would like to get a more raw and personable version of myself, make sure to go into the description box, check out the podcast using the link below, and hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. Let's get back to the video. One thing that's super important and that became very apparent to me in the last year or two is that I needed to focus on myself and become a better version of myself, which then it will, bleed into my relationships, my family, but I need to focus on myself and becoming a better version of me. Working for somebody else and doing the basics, going through the motions of life just isn't enough. Working for other people and just feeling like we do everything for everybody else is not the way that we need and should feel. Self-awareness is so important to becoming a better version of yourself and just improving in general. You need to be self-aware and conscious of the things that you are incapable of doing or that you struggle with. Self-awareness is so important. And that is kind of my segue, and I know I've talked about it so much, but Atomic Habits, really trial and error, figuring out what you do and don't do well, and being able to adjust your habits, change your surrounding and your environment to be able to perform and create habits that will be long-lasting ones that are overall aligned with your goals and your purpose and what you want to become and what you want to do with your life. My wife recently, she got into knitting, crocheting, knitting, I'm pretty sure. I think it's knitting. She got into knitting, and recently I got her a knitting book, and it goes over, a lot of different patterns to create baby clothing, beanies and all that stuff, socks, shoes, whatever it is. That is what she's super into at the moment. So we got a book to basically go along and push her along her interests, help her learn a bit more about that. It's something so basic, but the reason is that she's really been interested in wanting to do baby photography, like newborn photos. She could be able to make products or materials that she could also sell along with these photos that she's doing. And so being able to build on something that she's naturally interested in, that is going to be able to just help her and help her grow as an individual in a hobby or interest that she already has. It's very important. Focus on yourself, become a better version of you, and don't make the excuse that you're not a good reader, that you're not about books, and it's just not your interest. Try it. Try doing the Kindle books, whatever it needs to be, a digital copy on your phone, a physical copy. I like the physical copies. I like taking notes. That's just something that I'm about. Highlighting, marking things. I like having a reference to go to. I do enjoy the Kindle version as well. When you're on the move and stuff, it's a great option. But I think that everyone needs to try it and give it an honest chance because it could do a lot for you. That's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys found something valuable or found a bit of information. And if you did, make sure to like this channel, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you can get notified when I drop a video, because Even though you subscribe to me, YouTube isn't always going to do its job. You got to make sure you hit that bell button. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.